Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Man, it's time to give the Brew Crew a little more love. Maybe we'll have a couple beers. Yankees fell on their face last night. Let's talk some ball. Are the Rays back? Who wants to see Houston come October? Nobody.
Matt Bierling.
Raw. Hello and welcome to Talkin'
feet.
Baseball. Presented to you by SeatGeek. Make sure you use code TALKIN10. Players Weekend, baby. Code TALKIN10 at SeatGeek. 10% off any tickets, whether you're a new customer or not. Go see a concert. Hosier. My guy Bad Bunny. Trev's trying to dress like Bad Bunny a little bit today. Or go see some of the baseball. Finish up the dog days. Get ready for the postseason run. That's what we're doing. Code TALKIN10. 10% off your next order at SeatGeek. Click the link in the description. Trevor Plouffe. Got to see you this weekend. Pretty nice.
We did have a nice little night together, didn't we? Perusing the streets of the West Village in our John Boy Media gear. I had a glove on.
Got a lot of love, a lot of young boys. Yeah. There was a funny moment. We watched the end of the Yankees game, and then we watched the end of the Mets game as well. They changed the channel right before Best of Talkin' Yanks was about to come on, which maybe could have got my street cred up at the pub a little bit. But we had a nice meal. We were at Fanatics Fest all weekend. You can hear that in my voice. That was just a wild sports event. Trev, back in the West Coast, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It was interesting waking up on Saturday in New York and then heading straight home. I felt like I had 2 different days in one, so it's kind of a simulation experience for me. But look, as you mentioned, we're almost out of the dog days. Like one more week of the dog days, and then we're into playoff push. Then we're into the playoffs, and this is when ball gets really exciting for me. The first 4 months, it's a lot of jockeying for position. You have the trade deadline. You have injuries, all these things. And now it's here. It's here, and it's beautiful.
Couple great division races. The wild card trying to sort out literally like last life for teams. I know my Cincinnati Reds, I couldn't believe when I brought up their weekend. The Rays keep doing this every other week survival game. I was laughing. The Cubs have a crazy easy schedule for 18 games. Could they find a 12-6? And does it matter either way? There was a lot of ball this weekend. Let's get into it with the AL recap. Brought to you by T-Mobile. 5G innovation partner of MLB. They're there for All-Star Week. They're there wherever you need them. You're trying to track your team on the road. Trev's in the big city, keeping tabs on his Twins.
I kept tabs on them.
Always a big weekend for Minnesota. And man, they've got their new frictionless entry, so you don't have to fumble around or do the whole it's not loading. I took a screenshot. T-Mobile, they're a game changer. Kind of like us, kind of like me. So swing into the future with T-Mobile, the exclusive 5G innovation partner of Major League Baseball. Elevate your game day experience. Learn more. Visit T-Mobile.com/MLB. American League Mondays, as you well know. We'll start in the AL East, and we have a 4-game split between the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox. Zach Eflin, I owe you half an apology because you've been nothing short of amazing for Baltimore. Another 6 innings, 1 earned run for him. The Sox, they come back, they win the next 2. Our guy Brian Bayo, Talkin' Baseball celebrity, and the Sox knocked around Corbin Burns, Yoshida, Duran, Devers, the lefties got him. And of course, on getaway day, there's Albert Suarez with 0 earned runs yet again. A big weekend for Gunnar as he gets back on the homer train. Adley got pulled with a back thing, but he homers in that final game. They split 4 in beautiful Baltimore. Speaking of the Minnesota Twins, they take the first 3 against the Texas Rangers, and that's obvious. 2 one-run games. The nightmare Bailey Ober, most quality starts since Johan Santana consecutively. What the hell's that about? Trev, they're going for the 4-game sweep. And here's Adolis Garcia has kicked back into gear a little too late for them. A good rally by them, including our guy Josh Young with the walk-off single. But this kind of sums up both teams. The Twins kind of won 3 games, maybe not in the sexiest fashion. And Texas, oh God, Trev did not like that. The Arizona Diamondbacks, they're hot, man. Hottest team in baseball. Keep it rolling. There go the Rays. Rays, going Rays on him. Dylan Carlson, how about a St. Louis Cardinal getting traded and performing elsewhere? He's got an OPS in the 9s. He had a home run. He had a walk-off single in this series in the last game, 12 innings to walk it off. Man, Snakes fought in each game. They came back. Pete Fairbanks has 2 blown saves before going to the IL, but it's not enough. Snakes get raised a little bit. Oh, boy. Tigers take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. Yankees win the first game. Garrett Cole is back. 6 shut piece. Judge homers. Peraza homers. Remember him? Tigers win the next 2. They get shut out in game 2 by your guy Keider Montero. And then Tarek Skubal. And Stroman goes toe-to-toe with them. It's 1-0 Yanks into the 9th. Clay Holmes, Major League leading. Blown save. And then they walk it off in the 10th in front of the kids in Williamsport. How do you like that? The Astros take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox, and that's obvious. They lose the first one. Crochet, 9 punchies in 4 innings. Luis Robert, 2 homers. Hey, guys, trade for me. I'm right here. Please trade for me. Houston comes back. They win the next 2. Hunter Brown, he goes 7 innings for the first time in a while. Framber goes 7 innings with like 80 pitches. My goodness. Altuve, Yainer Diaz with the homers in that one. Houston rolling, man, always. We had our last Bay Area series, a 2-gamer, and they split it. Hayden Burt, Show Me Your Bird Song, gets outpitched by Trev's Osvaldo Beto, who's been rolling lately. 6-inning shut piece. Giants, they come back, win the second game in extras. Snell dealt back-to-back homers. Gerard Encarnacion and Elliot Ramos, who's always 2 for 4 with a homer. Only 1 for 4 with a homer in that game. And your final AL series, the Angels and the Braves, man. Saturday night's game was an absolute circus. We got players catching balls off their thighs. We got controversy. The umps wearing a Kramer t-shirt. Braves blew him out in that game. They take the final game again because the Salt Man, Charlie Morton. Hey, Angels, they won the first game. O'Hoppe goes yard. That is what happened in the American League. I just need the standings.
Lucky for you.
Yeah.
I got them right here.
Yeah.
And you just did the AL, so that's what I'm going to read. And because it's Monday, I'm going to start in the Central. The Guard Dogs, 72 and 52. Still a really nice record, but the Twins are coming. 2 games behind them at 70 and 54. The Royals won't go anywhere. They're 3 games back of the Guard Dogs, 69 and 55. Those Tigers, 61 and 64. And then the White Sox, who I believe were eliminated from postseason contention. Tough times out there, 30 and 95. Every time I read their record, I can't believe it. I really can't. We'll go out west, where our Houston Astros, are we the biggest Houston Astros supporters outside of Houston?
Now we're talking.
I think we are, dude.
We're talking.
The clip that we put out about them being the AL favorite, people were like, no, and then like, oh yeah, they probably are.
That got a lot of juice on the internet, huh?
A lot of Yankee fans mad about that, but like, I asked people, like, did you get like Will Smith Men in Blacked and forget about the past 7 years? Because
I haven't.
Okay. Oh, me neither.
I have not.
I guess I missed that one. I had the shades on. They're 67 and 56, 4 games up now on the Seattle Mariners, who are 64 and 61. The Texas Rangers are just completely out of it. 57 and 68. They might be getting some pitching back, but okay. They're 11 games back of the division. The Angels and the A's are tied for the bottom of that division, 53 and 71 apiece. And then out east, your Yanks and BBD's Orioles tied at the top, 73 and 52 apiece. The Red Sox 7 games back, 65 and 58. Tampa Bay, as you mentioned, finally getting back over 500 again, 62 and 61. And the Blue Jays 58 and 66 in the wild card. We're starting to see some separation, Jake, in both leagues in the wild card. Right now, Baltimore or New York, one of them would have the top wild card. The Twins at 70 and 54 would have the second wild card. Kansas City would have the third wild card. And the closest team is the Boston Red Sox, 3.5 games back of the Kansas City Royals. Seattle 5.5, Tampa Bay 6.5, and Detroit 8.5 games back. Texas not even in the picture anymore. And those are your standings in the American League. And I do want to point out that I think last episode you talked about the Yankees would have to go face Houston, which is not the case.
Had that wrong.
You had that wrong, but it was scary. It was like, we're almost to Halloween. It was a scary thought. So right now, I guess it would be either the Yankees or Baltimore would be hosting Kansas City, and then Houston would be hosting Minnesota, which is very scary for me.
Yeah, Orioles have
the Twins kind of own the Astros as of late.
Correa effect,
I'm just strike that from the record. I didn't say that.
Yeah, because did they
don't use that in your highlight reel?
Did they beat that?
Don't use that.
Did Houston beat the Twins last postseason, or was that 2 postseasons ago?
It was last postseason.
Okay,
nice.
Yeah, but you own them.
It's new. It's a new year.
I don't think you want this smoke. Okay.
Let me see what we are against them this year. I say we. They're 4-4-2 against them.
Oh, dominant. Oh. Great standings. Why not? Trev, it's a little dog day-ish. As we lean into this, great standings. I take it back. Let's start with the Orioles and the Red Sox. I gave an apology to Led Zeppelin on the way in. There was a lot of Orioles rotation, and it's Gray Rod. Can Eflin even be a 3? Eflin's been fantastic for them. Fantastic. Corbin Burns does get knocked around. His ERA is at its highest point, which, when I say that, I think it's like a 3.18. Where is it? 3.1. Excuse me. So I don't think it's time to get nervous about that exactly. But we have another big Jackson Holiday series with a 4-hit game. I don't know. I know a popular topic around right now, and it's a little bit because it's the Yanks, but Orioles and Yankees are toe-to-toe right now, literally the tied record. We talked about Orioles having the tiebreaker. Feels like the Yankees haven't been in tune for a little bit, neither have the Orioles. It's good on them. If the Orioles had lost that last game, and we're talking about Boston coming in 3 out of 4, blah, 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 they get neutralized, and it's a little bit by Albert Suarez. Also, I don't know, man. I guess the names in the Orioles bullpen have changed a decent amount, and that feels significant. I know there's some early returns on that, but it's, Sir Anthony Dominguez and Soto, like those were 2 guys in the Phillies World Series run bullpens, and now they're doing it in Baltimore.
Yeah, Sir Anthony's going to get a shot. I'm very curious about all of Baltimore's starting pitching going forward. Grayson, we got an update on Grayson Rodriguez, and he thinks he could be back by the end of the year. And then Brandon Hyde had some quotes and apparently a grimacing face when asked if he was going to be back. So if you don't have Grayson, your rotation then will be Corbin Burns. Who cares about this start? It bumped his ERA all the way up to 3.1.
Yeah.
You have Corbin Burns. You have Led Zeppelin, and then you got Albert Suarez. I mean, that's not exactly what you envisioned coming into the year if you're an Orioles fan, but hey, it can work. After that, we'll see what they can conjure up there. Some Cade Povich, maybe some Dean Kremer. Do you like Kremer in your coffee? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they go and how they kind of, what do we have? 6 weeks left. 6 weeks, a lot of things can happen. And I'm very curious to see, do they have anything up in their season? I don't know their farm system. Is there anybody else, sitting in AAA that they can call up and be a difference? I think Cade Povich was that guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know potentially bullpen wise. It feels like every year there's one or two teams that have a kid in AAA who, he just ticked up 3 miles per hour and he's striking out people at a 14.1 K per nine. I guess if any of your teams that you guys know your team better than us has guys like that, comment them. Interested. Yeah, and it was funny at FanFest. Some guy came up to me. He's like, "I think I'm done with Cade Povich," and I was like, "I think he's like 14 years old. Like, he just came up from the Great Lakes Little League team. Like, let's give Cade a couple more starts."
How old is he? I mean, I know they
24.
optioned him back. He's
24
years
so
old. Yeah,
he's there. But yeah, I mean, Trevor Rogers was that guy they paid for to get. And I don't know, as the big boys, whether it's wild card or winning the AL East, get ready. It's going to be funny where, right now Craig Kimbrell's kind of buried in that Orioles bullpen. Sir Anthony Dominguez with their last 2 saves, which it's just going to be very interesting in hindsight. Phillies fans and Orioles fans tracking their bullpen to be like, that's a case of who won that trade. And 1 or 2 games in October, like if Sir Anthony Dominguez blows a big game for Baltimore, Phillies fans are going to be there like, I knew it. And then what if he goes on a run for Baltimore? What if he's their closer? What if he's doing multi-innings, nasty stuff, which we've seen in the postseason before? The flip scripts.
I got their guy.
You found a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you love his name.
Okay.
And he started for him before.
Okay.
Keegan Aiken.
Oh, get Keegan.
No, I'm just kidding.
Get Keegan Aiken out of here. Where you at with the Sox, kid?
I don't really know, man. They're so up and down, and like I said, they're 3.5 games back right now. You get Tristan Casas back, so that could jolt the offense. I mean, they're gonna have to go on a run. I guess let's schedule watch with the Red Sox right now.
So
let's
they've got
the schedule.
They've got a tough little schedule coming out. I did this. They have Houston for 3 in Houston. Then they host the Snakes, and then Toronto.
Okay.
Hey,
they're very much still in the thick of this race. I think they're like really the only team that I'm looking at that has like a real chance to come up and snatch another playoff spot. Because who else is behind them? It's Seattle at 5.5 games back out. Do you expect them to go on some magical run? Man, I really don't. And Tampa, like, again, can't ever count them out, but I don't really see that happening for them this year. So it's Boston's kind of like the only hope for a team to come in and steal one of these last playoff spots. So definitely on Boston Red Sox watch over the next. Let's give them 2 weeks, Jake. 2 weeks to make their move. Because if they go through any sort of streak, a winning streak can really firmly entrench them in the playoff race, and then like any sort of losing streak kind of like gets them out of it, because that's where we're at in the season, dude. Like these series and these, a road trip here, a homestand there can get you in or out. There's no coming back.
Yeah, Dalton texted me Saturday night, late night. Poppy Gordo fried out, turning his brain off on the couch, watching a little Braves Halos, obviously, and the UFC fights, man. I can't believe how much I love them. Dude, I get
too. I didn't watch them, but
bro, all in. And Dalt texted me, and it was good radio fodder. He was like, who's a team that's out right now that could get back in? And I mean, the only teams that are even like options, it's like if you had Rays stock, the San Francisco Giants, like they could, feels like with their new rotation, maybe they could have a month out of somewhere. But yeah, I mean, nobody jumps off the map.
I think it is the Red Sox. The bullpen needs to, get into shape. But, besides Kenley, they've had some trouble there. But they have everything else that you need to, first of all, get to the playoffs. I think win in the playoffs as well. I mean, the lineup can be extremely dangerous, but they got to make these games up, and they got to do it quick.
And I think final notes, spent a little more time here than I thought, but good. Hey, that Gunner guy.
Pretty good.
4 homers in his last 5 games. He's back. He's back.
I'm looking at who the so they went 4-2 against the Royals, so they have the tiebreaker there. Okay. That's something. They have 3 more against the Twins. They're 1-2 so far on the year, so they could get the tiebreaker there. They win that series. What does it go to if you split? What's the second tiebreaker?
I think it's
BBD got to get on that.
You're usually my tiebreaker.
archery shootout. I don't.
You know I fucking hate tiebreakers.
Record in division.
Head-to-head intra-division record, then inter-division record.
Intra.
What's intra mean?
Intra
What
is
does that
within
mean?
record
Like what
against
they did
your
against
own
the Central?
division.
Okay.
Why is that
I
a
can't- How do I find
tiebreaker?
that?
How would that
How
be
do
the
I find
tiebreaker
that?
between those two
Teams not in the same division. Why would that be a tiebreaker?
That sounds ridiculous.
Feels wrong.
It doesn't feel
I'm gonna
right.
double check that this is an article just about about division tiebreakers, but I think it's for playoff spots in general.
Okay, let's get off the rails. It's the dog days. These series, there's some stuff. I wish I had a picture or a video of Trevor Plouffe's face when he found out from our bartender on Friday night that Sabrina Carpenter wore a Jesus Was a Carpenter shirt at Coachella this year. Trevor tightens up, like gets serious eyes, and he goes, "She stole that from me." You've never seen a bartender more confused or less interested.
I didn't care. But this was a conversation between you and I. I didn't care what the bartender had to say. We saw Carrie Carpenter on the screen, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Was a Carpenter." And she looks at me and says all that. And I had no idea. And you did. You're super tuned in on Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
I had to remind people that we met many moons ago, 2017, me and Sabrina Carpenter. She threw out the first pitch to me. Maybe she's been following Talking Baseball this entire time.
There was a theory that maybe she stole, like she's kept tabs on Trev since 2018. Like he said something.
2017.
Maybe she just hates him and has been keeping tabs this whole time and stole the Jesus Was a Carpenter shirt.
Or the alternative theory is they were just two brilliant minds,
right,
with marketing campaigns. Yeah,
right.
That is a little off the rails, Pop. We're in the AL recap right now.
Well, how about we just check the box of Kerry Carpenter's Tigers, who take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees. In Yankee land, if you want to go check out a very sad, tired, broken Talkin' Yanks, go check it out. Mostly from the weekend and just a little bit in general. Like, we know the Yankees have a good record. We know the Yankees have a shot this year. But Clay Holmes blowing his major league leading, was it 10th or 11th save? Jimmy's got frustrations with the Yankees' defensive shifts. If you want to go hear that, go check out Talkin' Yanks. Really in the weeds there. And it's just, I don't know, man. They do some weird stuff. They call up the Martian. This is his first game this season. He's the 27th man, so he's up and he's down. He's batting 5th. Little hezzy hay on the game-winning run. You don't love to see that. And I don't know. The Tigers, hey, they called up 2 young prospects. We got the other young brother. We got Jace Young in the bigs along with Trey Sweeney. The first time the Tigers have called up 2 rookie infielders making their debut since Trammell and Whitaker in 77. I think that's like true. At least some of it.
Pretty good. It is.
So I don't, whatever you
just
want
read this
there.
off the sheet.
I talked about this for an hour 45 last night, way too tired and a little high. So I'm good.
I mean, the last game I watched last night, obviously Sunday Night Baseball, Little League Classic. Is that what they call it?
I think so.
Where was that field? Is that like where they always play the
It's
Little League?
Williamsport. Yeah, there's a minor league team there.
I think
Okay.
was a minor league team when everything contracted. It's now like a college summer ball.
Your guy
team,
Matt
but-
Vierling played minor league baseball on that field before making
No,
a great
I love
mic'd
that.
up catch on Oswald Peraza.
I did like that catch. That's one of those
It's a good
catches where
catch.
like he knew the entire time he was going to catch it, and it's one of the balls where you can make it seem as easy or as hard as you want.
Okay, I like that.
You can slow the steps down a little bit and be like, ah. My guy Matt Vierling, shout out. I like every time I see him on the screen now, I'm just like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
Even though I don't even really know him.
No, but you guys
Those big old
do.
feet.
You guys do.
Yeah, we're connected forever. I too like the ground balls, the 2 in a row there at the end. I thought possibly we're going to be hit right at defenders for the Yankees, and they just weren't. So maybe I have a problem with the Yankee shift, and then I don't know.
Sounds like you have the same
think
problem
there
Jim's got.
I think there was some hesitation from Dominguez on that throw because, I mean, he was 25 feet off the dirt of the
Yeah.
infield, and the Tigers' third base coach decided to send the runner. Could have been first and third, nobody out with a chance to win the game, and instead he just ultra aggressive send. I think that's what caught Dominguez off
For sure.
off guard a little bit because he made a strong throw, but Yankees lose.
Hey,
Tony Cora knows what he's doing.
Skubal, 6 innings, 1 earned run. It sounds like they're going to start. They're not going to pitch him every 5th day. They're going to kind of ease him in to the finale. Something to watch as he's chasing the Triple Crown in the AL, innings, strikeouts, and ERA.
They're doing that all over the board. Crochet's doing that.
Yeah.
Skubal's doing it. There's an article that just came out today from Kenny Rosenthal talking about Skeens and the Pirates posse shutting him down. You know how much crap I got for saying that?
Right.
It's just a thought in my head, people. If you've been just paying attention to ball, like the Pirates are probably going to do something. I don't know, completely shut him down, but that's just the way of the world now.
Hey, and Tigers fans, Kerry Carpenter, the old man on the block at 27. Torkelson is back up. Jace Young, Trey Sweeney, Colt Keith, Riley Green, Parker Meadows. I don't know. I'm not a scout anymore. I gave that up. But man, baseball, it takes youth clicking to kind of open up a new window or be successful. And they're giving it a look. And a couple of these guys click. Like Riley Green has kind of officially clicked. He's off the IL. Kerry Carpenter also, as long as he's out there playing, he's been hitting. I don't know, man. A couple of these guys turn it around, and maybe we'll talk some more Tigers 2025. But
I feel like we've been saying that for a couple of years.
I know it. That's why I'm not enthused about it.
Cater Montero, just throw more strikes, bro. Like, you got good stuff. Just throw more
Easy.
strikes.
Easy game. What do you want on your Twinkies?
I didn't know this, but Dalt's got on the sheet how they have the best record in baseball since April 22nd, like a 100-win pace. They've dealt with a ton of injuries, too, throughout the year, man. They really have. Like, their lineup has just not been consistent, but they've been able to find ways to get the job done. Again, they had some good pitching performances. Bailey Ober is my guy. He's been Mr. Quality Start. He did it all last year as well, so 10 straight for him. He's got a couple blow-up starts to kind of skew his numbers a little bit, but he's been good. He's going to have to. I mentioned that they're going to very, very young rotation. So I got him in San Diego. I'm heading down after the show. I'll drive down to San Diego. I believe Ober gets the ball the second game. I want to see your guy Michael King pitch tonight. It's going to be a good series. I'm very curious to see how these two teams kind of match up, because if I had to rank them right now, like, I'd probably put the Padres over the Twins, but the Twins have just been playing consistently good ball all year long. So we'll see.
Some of the Twins' numbers are surprising, and Pablo's kicked into gear recently.
He's kind of up and down. He needs to be more consistent.
Like you mentioned, they have had the injury bug, and I don't know. There's just something odd about this that if anyone still has Ranger stock, go actually look at the standings. They are below the Blue Jays. The 3 teams below them in the AL are the Athletics, Angels, and White Sox. So the wheels are just fully off there.
Everything's bigger in Texas, including the World Series hangover.
Yeah.
Do you think Rangers fans, I'm very curious. If you're a Rangers fan, you won the World Series last year.
Good question.
Bad year this year. Injuries, all these things. The team that you thought was going to be on the field hasn't really been on the field. Do you care? Or are you still riding the high? I've never been a fan of a baseball team that like won a World Series. Like I've just never really been like super invested in a team. I don't know how it feels. Besides playing on a team. And obviously I didn't win any World Series there. There you go. I thought about it again. Never played in the playoffs. Every single day people are thinking about that. It haunts me. It's like the Vinoy Hotel, the Pfister, whatever. I don't know.
Barely know her.
Do you know? Like, I mean, the Yankees win the World Series a million years ago, 2009. The next year, how'd they do?
I mean, those next couple years, they were still good. And I think there was a thought, because 2009 was a new team, they made the big free agent splashes.
You thought you were going to go on a three-peat again?
You thought that they were back to being the Yankees, that they were going to be in the mix every year, and then they weren't. And then when did it start getting ugly? 2014?
13
into 14?
Yeah. The 2010 team was like the best on paper team of that run. Then the Cliff Lee trade doesn't happen and they fall apart.
So, yeah, Tigers. Hey, DeGrom's throwing.
That's cool.
That's cool. Give me one DeGrom start to the end of the year. Why not? The Rays, man. It feels like every time I open up this sheet, they've either lost 3 out of 4 or they've won 4 out of 5. They get back over 500 after sweeping the Diamondbacks, who had been the hottest team in baseball. Snakes fought in the first and last game of the series, including 12 innings. I mentioned on the way through, Fairbanks gets 2 blown saves, and he's going to head to the IL. Rays, I don't know. Pepio's back after missing a month and a half due to a spider bite infection.
Spider bites are no joke, bro.
Spider bites freaked me out.
Inflection in your voice.
No, it's more so just baseball. Like it's baseball.
My dad, when I was younger, got bit by a brown recluse, and he was earmuffs. He was fucked up, dude.
I don't like
bit him on the leg, and it was I still remember it, dude. That was a long time ago, and I remember it. So spiders are just like the worst.
Ooh, the worst.
Spiders, like snakes, like I don't get as scared of snakes as I do of spiders. Like I am not a spider guy.
Spiders
I
or snakes
got me as a kid.
That's an all-time debate. That's like a caveman debate.
Like Anaconda's the scary snake movie, but that's like it's kind of so silly that it's like
right, but that's totally like they're so big that it's just like horrifying. Like animals like shouldn't be that big.
Creepy, dude.
Yeah, some people are like about spiders though.
Because don't you like swallow a certain amount of spiders per year? Like what?
I'm
more tracking that.
More of a Hawk-Tua guy.
Your average run-of-the-mill spider does a lot of good for the ecosystem, but
okay.
Snakes fans,
the scary ones are
spider
scary.
Guy.
Ryan Nelson probably makes his last start. 8 starts at 2.73. That shows you when times are good. But again, that could become an interesting thing of note. But maybe they can use him in the pen. I know Ryan Thompson's got knocked around recently. Snakes fans will be able to let this go because this is, in a way,
they could have won 2 games in this series.
And they fought. And that's what you want to see from your team because, you know, baseball games, you're going to be down. You're going to lose a chunk. But if you show fight and good at bats and Corbin Carroll's hitting 2-run homers to tie it up, that feels good.
It was a bomb, too. It's like 430 or something like that.
But you do walk away getting swept that when you start off your next series, if you go down in game 1, that's when the dark thoughts kick in, and that's when baseball can happen. So they're going to face the Marlins in Miami, and then they head up to Boston. So big East Coast trip.
The Florida Bowl. I was about to give the Snakes a "What is you doing, baby?" But then I thought, you're in Tampa,
right?
Playing at the Trop. You fought in 2 games. Had some good moments. Had some bad moments. So I'm gonna hold off on that. They don't get a "What is you doing, baby?"
If my Rays can give the Oakland A's a 4-game sweeper that they have coming up, I'll put my chips on the table for them. I don't think they're gonna. The A's are playing pretty good baseball right now, but Jeffrey Springs is back. He got his first win in a while. Dude, Rays rotation right now. I know Taj Bradley's fallen off a little bit. They got Bradley, Boz, Pepio, and Springs coming up. Like, that's... the Rays are... I don't know. Fuck them. No, I'm out. Don't take my chips.
6.5 out of the wild card.
They'd have to get very, very hot. Very
last
hot.
thing I think in the AL is, the last Battle of the Bay series happens. You got Bob Melvin there, who was pretty emotional about it. I think it's cool that the Chapman was there. Apparently he requested like a base and they gave it to him, which I think is cool. It ends up in a split. Mark Kotsay gets tossed, so doesn't even get to see the end of the game. Which is probably good because the Giants won it in extras. Blake Snell doing his thing. It was cool to see the Coliseum like with fans in it again.
It's busy. Cool. 37K in there, something like that. JP Sears and Snell having a nice southpaw off on that final game. Snell, 55 strikeouts over his last 5 starts. That passes John Montefusco, the most in a 5-game span by a Giants pitcher. So, significant to some. That sucks, man. I know we've done this a lot, but God. Oakland's a great baseball town.
It is. It is.
God.
The crowds can be electric there. The stadium is, for all the shit that it gets. That's a pun. It's unique, man. Like there's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy that. Like I don't need some brand new whatever looking park. Like I like when there's history, and I guess you have to build them and play in there to have history, but like a lot of things have happened there. Football's happened there.
Right.
Like you hear about Mount Davis and all these different things, and to think about what are they going to do with the Coliseum, man? Like what's going to happen to it?
I mean, I still don't even know what's going to happen with the A's, right? They're going to Sacramento.
Sacramento.
And LA,
yeah.
like Vegas isn't locked in yet, right? Like we've done everything but lock it in.
I'll say this with the A's stadium situation. I don't think anything's ever locked in. It hasn't been in 7 years. It's been here. You're going to do this, do that. Jack London Square. But then it's until I see them with the gold shovels and the hard hat.
Yes.
I hate that so much. Like some stupid dude in a suit's like, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And then here, you guys do the work. Like, dude.
Yeah,
if they do that, they should have to stay a full day and dig.
And why not?
At least put in like an hour.
Why
and
not?
the stupid big scissors cutting the ribbon out.
In.
You're in on the big scissors?
Bigger ribbons, bigger scissors. Let's keep
Where do you
going.
even buy big scissors?
Now that's a good question.
Amazon.
Gotta be.
They make
Buy big scissors. Okay, 25-inch ribbon cutting scissors. Amazon. Crazy.
Okay.
Braves, I've actually got something your way coming in a little bit. Houston, you're the best team ever. Let's do some National League baseball. It's Indeed, brought to you by Indeed. They are driven by the search for better. When it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. Over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that will help you find quality candidates fast. Matching. I like that. 93% of employers agree Indeed delivers the highest quality matches compared to other job sites, according to a recent survey. So, any listeners of this show, you will get $75 sponsored job credit. Nice. Get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/talkin. Just go to Indeed.com/talkin right now. Support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. There's a link in the description, Indeed.com/talkin. Why would the National League not start with the Cleveland Guardians? Because they faced the Milwaukee Brewers and they got doused in beer, baby. The Brewers sweep. And they did it in such Brewer fashion. Willie Adames, his 10th 3-run homer this year. That leads baseball. Savali, Peralta, and Colin Ray, all with 6 innings, less than 1 run. What?
Colin Ray.
Colin Ray. And then, oh yeah, out of the bullpen, who do you want? You want some Koenig? I mean, they're just the Brewers' AI bullpen generator still working as they sweep the guard dogs, man. Both of these teams, we give a lot of respect, but we central and blah, blah, blah. Brewers are going for the best record in the NL, and they swept the cross borderline. I don't know. They swept the Guardians.
Let me look it up.
The Dodgers, they take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. Justin Roblieski, didn't say that right. He gets his first win. Your usual suspects, Kiermaier and Gavin Lux homer in that game. Man, Dodgers had a big comeback in the 6th inning. Michael Kopech with 2 saves in this series after Cardinals and Andre Palante, 7 innings, kicks it to Helsley in the back end. By the way, Shohei's about to get a 40-40, probably quicker than any other player's done it. Soriano has that record, so watch out for that. Lars Nootbaar, pinch hit home run, didn't matter. Clayton Kershaw, 6 shutout. Here we are, people. Here we are. The Washington Nationals, they got the business from the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies take the first 3 out of 4. There's Wheeler, there's Nola, there's Trev's Cristopher Sanchez. 9 innings. That's a complete game, people. 1 earned run. Weston Wilson cycle. Absolutely. Why wouldn't he? Trey Turner, 4 hits and a walk-off RBI single. Absolutely. Castellanos with a couple big games. Hey, our Nats salvaged the series. Our guy Keibert Ruiz, he's turned it on since the break. Does that matter next year? I don't know. Let's find out together. The Royals, they sweep the Cincinnati Reds. Bye, Reds. We had our last flirt. God, it was fun. God, it was dirty, too. Cincinnati bar, grimy, hand on my leg. Royals, crush them, Trev. 7-1, 13-1. 8-1. Man, I thought there was a lot of things that could have went wrong for the Reds this year. I didn't have it as their hitting. And on the other side, Bobby Witt Jr., 3-hit day. Pasquantino, couple multi-hit days. And Darion Blanco, 1 homer coming into the weekend, 3 homers coming out. Good for you, Poppy. Royals, they remain a big part of this season. Do you want to see them in the playoffs? Interesting. The Chicago Cubs, I think they're the next, fighting for their lives. They take 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays. Would have been nice to get 3, especially a 1-0 last game, where our guy Joey Loperfido, he hits a solo dong to win 1-0. But the Cubbies, Ian Happ, Pete Crow Armstrong, Cody Bellinger, Michael Busch has kind of made it a full season. And the Cubbies, here's something, Trev. I think their next 18 games against teams under 500. Cubbies, show me a little bit of sauce. 2 teams that have just made me miserable. The Pirates and the Mariners. They played 3 games. The Pirates took 2 out of 3. Nice. Skeens and Gilbert. That makes it move. But it doesn't matter. The Pirates, they end their Skeens losing streak. IKF trade deadline ad with a big game in game number 2. Mariners, George Kirby, and that Victor Robles extension, they get it done in the final game. Man, the Mariners, I hope you kept track of them in the standings because I couldn't believe where their record is at. And the Pirates have lost me. So I don't know, I'm getting a little too emotional about it. Kelsey Wingert's Rockies, they take 2 out of 3 from the Padres. Big Padres Twins series this week, and you just heard about that. Go Rocks, go. Nolan Jones is back. Bradley Blaylock throwing 5.2 1 earned run. Couldn't pick him if he was in this room, but I'm excited to. Padres recover or don't. And the Mets and Marlins, they've played 3. The Mets, they won the first 2 games. Manaea, Severino, complete game shut piece. Otto Lopez and Derek Chill get it done for the Fish in the last game. That's what happened in the National League.
Great job, Pop. Great job. Do you need something right now?
The NL and the IL standings would be great.
You got me there a little bit. You were flirting with the Reds? A little dirty
all
flirt?
year, man. All like
Just a little, hey.
Like, I don't know. College football's coming back. We got to the bar at like 12. We said, what up then? We saw each other at 4 p.m. Oh, you guys having fun? That was a good game. Blah, blah.
Time for an espresso martini, I guess.
It's 11:15, and you're just looking at each other like, I don't think I like you. I don't think you like me. It's getting late. It's getting late. What are the standings again?
I don't know what that was all about. That's a weird day of flirting right there. Wouldn't expect anything less from you, Pop. I'll start in the Central. By the way, so if you just went, I guess I'll go this way. If you just went, Jake, Milwaukee, and kind of went at this angle down, you have to cross 2 Great Lakes to get to Cleveland.
Oh.
And you'd stop in Detroit in the middle.
Wow.
Yeah. You're crossing Michigan right there. I don't know. That's just a little geography lesson for everyone. In the Central, Milwaukee, you mentioned, doing their thing, trying to get the best record in the National League, 72-52. That's 20 games over 500. The Cardinals sit 11 games behind them at 61-63. Cubs 61-64. Cincinnati 16-64. So if you shut out the Reds and you said bye Reds, that means you're shutting out St. Louis and Chicago as well. And I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Pirates 58-65. Didn't they get over 500 briefly in like end of June, early July? I'm not so sure that ever happened, but I think it did. In my mind, it did.
Pirates?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. And then they lost 10.
Did, yeah. Okay. Moving out west, the Dodgers 73-52. And hey, we got a race out here in the NL West. The Padres 70-55, only 3 games back. The Diamondbacks 69-56, only 4 games back. Then you have the Giants right at 500. That's where they've been all season long. 63-63. Colorado 46-79, 27 games back of the division. Out east, Philadelphia 73-51, a 7-game lead over the Atlanta Braves, who are 66-58. The Mets 64-60, and then Washington 56-69, and the Marlins 46-78. In the wild card, Jake, it's starting to get separated here. Okay, we got San Diego and Arizona have the first 2 wild card spots. And then Atlanta right now currently in the 3-hole at 66-58. The Mets 2 games behind, so they're there. They have a very good chance. They have a shot. The Giants at 500 are 4 games back of that spot, and then you go down with the Cardinals, the Cubs, and Cincinnati as well. I can see a world where maybe that happens, Jake. This is baseball. We still have 6 weeks. But right now, if I'm just saying who's got a shot at the playoffs, I think I'm saying the Mets and the Giants. And after that, I don't really believe in any of those teams. And those are your standings in the National League.
Mets and Giants are interesting for very different reasons. Thank you, Trev. Yeah, hey, Cubbies, 18 games against bad teams. Give me that 15-3.
They're an under 500 team. You can't speak like, oh, they're playing these under 500 teams. Like, they're under 500. They're one of those teams. It's the Spider-Man meme.
They're playing themselves. Nice, Trev. Hip.
Thanks. That's my hip.
You're hip. You're all over it.
I'm such a loser.
That drive to San Diego later. What are you going to do?
Think about that line. Like, I crushed it with that line.
You going tunes? You going podcast?
I don't listen to any podcasts. Maybe I'll do my one podcast. Shout out group chat.
You do love them.
That's it.
Okay.
They're my friends.
If the NL playoffs were today, the Phillies and Dodgers would have a bye. The Brewers would host the Atlanta Braves.
Yes.
Zoinks. Man, the fight for the second bye in the NL. I guess the Both buys in the NL. That's going to be fun to watch. Man, we're at that time of year, huh? We're tracking some different things.
Milwaukee and Atlanta would be great because didn't the Braves come from Milwaukee?
Ooh, the Hank Aaron Bowl.
Yeah. Like that. And then I think this would be the most electric matchup of the season. San Diego hosting Arizona would be awesome.
Hey, I know we throw darts at this wild card format and we're still learning. Padres Snakes, 3 games to decide their fate. Yo.
All in Petco?
Ooh.
Petco's great. Fans
that gets
are great
chippy.
there. I can't wait.
That gets chippy. Torey Lovello, Machado.
Hey, Padres, host a wild card series. 3 games in a row. The fans wouldn't even leave. They just sleep there. I love that, dude.
Ooh. Could a team do that?
Just put tents up in the concourse, maybe?
Hey, we're playoff game into sleepover. Bark at the park. Anyways.
I don't know about that. Where do the dogs go to the bathroom?
You know.
Just anywhere?
You know. Trev, let's grab a beer. The Milwaukee Brewers, they sweep the Guard Dogs. They have the biggest divisional lead. They have an 11-game lead in their division. I think it's partial shots fired to their division, which we have done tastefully the past couple minutes. They are also the class of that division, and I don't know if it starts with pitching or run prevention. We talked about defense before, but Aaron Savale has come over, and he's been great. He's returned to his form that he had on the Guardians, pitching against his former team. Colin Ray is one of the hot buzzwords in baseball today because the season he has now put together. And this is all with Willy Adames putting together a great season as we dreamt up his basement last episode. William Contreras is kicked back into gear. These Brewers, I don't know, they don't have the sex appeal of a Dodgers, of a Phillies. They traded away who we thought was their best player before the season. And yet here they are having been dominant all year. And they clearly, organizationally, whatever they are doing is miles ahead of the rest of the division.
Agreed. Willy Adames, 10 3-run homers is nuts. That means he has at least 30 runs driven in. I did that math all by myself. This one was like the bullpen series. Like both bullpens were awesome, and I guess you'd expect that coming into the series. Like these are 2 of the better bullpens in all of baseball, when right. Yeah, I don't know what there is to say about either of these teams. I think what we've been talking about with the Guardians has kind of come to life a little bit. Although they've been playing some sort of like Jekyll and Hyde ball as of late. They either win a bunch of games in a row or lose a bunch of games in a row. But a lot of it, the offense can be spotty at times. It can go off at times, but it can go quiet. And then you mentioned the overuse of the bullpen didn't really matter in this series here, as they were, like I said, they were lights out. But this is a fun series. I think this was kind of like, again, I don't mean to overuse the Spider-Man meme, spam that button, but these are 2 teams that kind of are they're pretty similar. Right. I think the Brewers have more consistent starting pitching, but they operate on the same wavelength, I would say. But the Brewers just got the better of them, got the early leads, and then had a little bit better offense going in this series. But I would say if these 2 teams met a bunch, the series would be close a lot. And I mean, this series was close. There was no blowout games. It was kind of well played baseball. Again, the bullpens were just kind of the story of the series.
We've been critical of the Brewers' deadlines in the past, and let's see where the roster lands. Obviously, the Yelich thing was a big blow. Man, Frankie Montas and Aaron Savale, adding 2 guys to your rotation, that's significant. And Devin Williams has another 10-pitch save, obviously. And dude, Jared Koenig and Brian Hudson, these are guys, not national radar guys coming into the season. And whether you like WAR, whether you like straight up stats. Brian Hudson has a 2.5 WAR for a reliever this year. And that's just Brewers devil magic, man.
The Guardians came in 1 in ERA, 1 in WHIP. The Brewers came in 2 in ERA, 2 in WHIP as far as bullpens across Major League Baseball, and they showed up.
God,
that's it's a recipe for success. If you can get out and get an early lead, and you can just unleash these dudes. We talk about, we don't want to face the Astros in the playoffs. We don't want to face this, and they have a nice back end of the bullpen as well, but. I'm very curious to see how these two teams will, what the pitching plan will be for them when they get into the postseason. How quick of a hook are these guys going to have? How we've seen teams ride bullpens before, but how much can you, if the Guardians somehow, get into a wild card series and they host it and they got 3 games in a row, Coliseum's shown the ability to go 3 days in a row. They're going to rely heavily on those guys. I'm excited to see how they handle it. And 2 first-year coaches.
Well, Trev, it's crazy we've ignored it to this point. John Heyman's top 5 manager performances this season. He had Pat Murphy 1 and Stephen Vogt 2. So,
Chris Rose has asked me a question later today. Is Pat Murphy, is that the biggest postseason award, after the season award lock right now? And it might be he's going to win Manager of the Year in the NL, and Stephen Vogt is going to win Manager of the Year in the AL.
Yeah,
it's a little sprinkle. What are the numbers on that? BB?
Oh, don't sleep on Joe Espada. The Astros are coming.
The way those awards usually work, I would guess they're.
But I think you're
2
right.
favorites. I'm looking into it.
Trev, you're a big meme guy.
Obviously.
The two hands and arms embracing each other meme. Handshake.
Okay.
It's like 2 ripped arms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yanks are hosting the Guards this week. Let's go Yanks. Let's get those Twins in first place.
I don't get the meme. Oh, first place lock-in.
It's the Yankees and Twins coming together to take down the Guardians.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah. We're hip. We're cool.
I'm a meme guy.
I'm a meme guy. Hot Tua. Dodgers.
Before we do Dodgers, just Manager of the Year checks. The 2 names we said are heavily favorited. But the other one to consider, Matt Quatraro. And the Royals, big jump.
Those Royals come and snake it.
Alex Cora and the Red Sox are exceeding some expectations. Sure. Mike Schilt, Rob Thompson are 2 and 3 slot in the NL.
Schilt a beast. Dodgers Cards, I'll be honest, Trev. I think the biggest thing of note is Clayton Kershaw in the final game goes 6 shut, and with Glass on the IL, and we saw Buehler earlier, and he didn't exactly look like Walker Buehler. Okay, you're a meme guy. The aw shit, here we go again meme.
I don't know that one.
I know you don't. It's from a video game. I think it's from an early Grand Theft Auto popular meme.
I think my favorite meme is the lady sitting on the bench outside of a fast food restaurant with her hand in her head.
You like that?
You know that one?
Here's the
I don't know that one.
Okay. That is Grand Theft Auto. Nice. Yeah, we've said everything about the NL Central. We feel like we've said everything about the Dodgers. I'll just throw a little Yankee saltiness after watching Clay Holmes blow another save. The fact that Michael Kopech was moved.
He's closing down games.
He's closing games for the Dodgers.
That might be the most obvious thing in baseball right now, was the fact that a guy that has the arm of Michael Kopech is going to come over to the Dodgers and be dominant. I mean, there is something to be said about it being a professional and getting the job done no matter where you are. I get that. People will think that. But the mental part of the game, we talk about it all the time. If you're playing for the White Sox and there's nothing to play for, how up can you really get? How laser focused can you really be? Now you put on the Dodgers uniform and you understand it is World Series or freaking bust. Your manager even says things like that. The intensity and the focus rise. There's just no way around it. And now, yeah, we got Kopech. The Dodgers are trying to figure out what they're doing. Kopech now in the back end of their bullpen, looking good. He induces a double play to end the game. How about Gavin Lux hitting third for them? He's like turned it on. I think he's almost like at a 1-5 WAR season now, which earlier in the season would have been unfathomable. But he's starting to look like the guy they thought he would look like. That's big for them and lengthening their lineup in the postseason. And Bobby Miller's back. What's up, Bobby Miller?
Kopech's numbers since going there. You taking a look at these things?
Read them out.
Nine games, 9.1 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts, which is 12.5 Ks per 9. 28 years old.
I saw the guy throw an immaculate inning against my Twins. Like, this guy's got real deal stuff. Does he get wild every once in a while? Sure, but I don't know, man. It's just two completely different organizations going from the White Sox and whatever the hell they have going on over there and then going to the Dodgers.
Well, dude, I was getting, I don't know if it was just long weekend and worn out. I was getting a little salty at last night's ESPN broadcast. One, they were complimenting the Yankees bullpen, which I currently disagree with.
Okay.
Two, dude, they were interviewing Hinch about Skubal, and they were talking about, how much credit so many people in the org deserve for reworking him and getting him that changeup and stuff. And he did end it with Skubal obviously deserves the most credit, but he named 4 guys that came together to take Skubal as their lab rat and how do we make this better? And it's just nuts to think about because I doubt whoever was coaching Kopech in Chicago, I don't think they would get the same level of credit, or maybe credit in the wrong way.
Hold on.
Okay.
Because I thought I saw this with Skubal. He throws the seam shifted wake changeup.
Yep.
I thought he learned it from his teammate. Now I'm gonna look it up right now. Maybe I'm wrong.
It was Hinch took 5%, which I was surprised about as manager. And then he named 3 pitching geeks. And they were yeah, that's how we made Skubal. And I was damn, that's that stinks, but is also kind of how it works. Because look at all these good organizations. Look at the Brewers. Look at the Guards. Clearly, they have something figured out that other teams do not.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
This is the Tigers. Maybe there was somebody else that learned their changeup from one of their teammates. The Tigers worked his changeup. They gave him a ball with a black dot on it and told him to throw it like this. Instead of pronating, you're going to do this. Chris Sale throws now that non-pronation changeup.
It's like airplane turbulence.
Whatever. Okay. Anyways.
Just throw the ball and watch us.
Didn't Aaron Judge call him the best pitcher in baseball? That's nice.
That'd be nice to hear.
I know he
probably
called Judge
take that quote, print it out, and put it on your wall. I would do that. Trevor Plouffe's the voice of baseball right now. Aaron Judge said that. He didn't say that.
He didn't say that yet. He will. They come around. Trev, NL, I think it's quick hitters. I mean, the Phillies give the Nats the business. I mentioned their big 3 highlighted by Chris Sanchez that you might hear more about in a little bit. The Royals, Reds nonsense I've run through. You start cooking with whatever's got you.
Let me cook on just a little something. First of all, I was going to give my standout to Weston Wilson. I had to change it because something else on the Phillies is coming later in the show. So shout out Weston Wilson, a guy that I've seen in the cage. He worked with Kotuck. He worked with my guy Brad Boyer. He's always had an incredible swing. Perseverance at the upper minor league levels has been great, and now he's getting a chance to play. I actually sent him a message saying, dude, congratulations. The cycle's amazing. And his response is, I just want to win the World Series, which is, if you're a Phillies fan, you're I like that guy. Also, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Trey Turner, what's up, dog? You sat out for one game. Now you're back. You got to love that. That's my guy right there. Kansas City, scary. I'm scared of them. Scared of what they can do offensively. I mean, this was an absolute bloodbath in Cincinnati. 7-1, 13-1, 8-1. That is about as bad as a sweep as we've seen this season.
Yeah.
Maybe a higher run differential sweep. Holy crap. And then obviously Bobby Wood's still doing his thing, but they had some starting pitching as well. They've had that all year long. I mean, Brady Singer, no earned runs. Michael Wacha, no runs. Lorenzen gets his win. Like, okay, scared of that a little bit. Cubs, I don't care about. Love you, Ian Happ. But again, I'm like a 500 or better guy right now. If you're not 500, how much can we really talk about you? Was I talking about the Kenny Rosenthal article on camera, or was that before this show?
You mentioned a Kenny Rosenthal article briefly a couple minutes ago.
I don't know. Anyways, they're talking. Kenny Rosenthal says they might be shutting him down. They might be limiting innings, and I got blown up for saying that.
Yes.
Whatever. Padres, I don't care. You lost in Colorado. It's the weirdest place to play in the world. I can't wait to see you guys tonight calling that game. Be giving them lots of love on the Twins broadcast, so tune in if you want to see that. And then the Mets, good job. Took 2 or 3 from the Marlins. I don't know. You're still in it. And the Mets have a crazy schedule coming up too, don't they? I believe they're facing the Padres in Arizona, and
I think they have Baltimore, Padres, someone else. I know three series that Jolly was scared about.
Tester 2 weeks here for the Mets. Gotta love that. But I still do believe in the Mets. And more on them coming later, right?
Hey man, a little more on them coming later. Go check out the Royals if you have a chance today. Cause man, let's see where everything lands. But this team has done a lot of work. Lucas Erceg is doing things in the back of their bullpen now, which a bullpen they fully revamped before the season. By the way, if you believe in voodoo and you're still looking to play some bets, Will Smith, the reliever, is on Kansas City.
No.
Just a reminder.
Did he go on the IL? Something happened. There was a big transaction with him.
He's back. And right now the Royals rotation, Trev. This might be my new answer for Dalton in a minute. Seth Lugo has been one of the best pitchers all year. Kyle Ragans has his own argument. They traded for Michael Lorenzen, who has been good for them. Michael Wacha has put together a great year. And so is Brady Singer. Dude, they have one of the best 5-man going right now. And I don't think we talk about the Royals like that.
We did early on in the season, then we kind of got sick of it. They're 3rd in ERA, 5th in WHIP, and this is the most important one in the postseason. They're 1st in homers per 9. If you don't give up homers, you usually win the series. That's just how it goes. So, okay. That's a little scary.
Dude, ERA plus. Seth Lugo, 140. Reagans, 136. Singer, 136.
Who?
Wacha, 130. Kyle Ragans. Hi, Kyle Ragans.
I didn't know who that was. Weird accent on the Reagans.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to Kyle Ragans. We got everything y'all like to eat here. We've gotten away from the baseball a little bit, and that's okay.
Lorenzen 287 since going over there.
Every 5 days. Every day.
You guys hate the Mets.
You guys hate, here we go.
203 at a boo bitch.
What's the record since Hawk-Tua Girl threw out the first pitch?
That's just inappropriate. Let's do some standout performances. My voice is like actually there. Standout performances are brought to you by Tommy John. I wear Tommy John, and you should do. Trev has his on today. Be careful. Be careful. There it is. Nice, Trev. I've got mine on. I'll flash it towards the end. Tommy John, they're the best. I've made my full Underoos collection, all Tommy John. There's a funny moment. I'll lead up to the funny moment. Get 20% off your first order right now at TommyJohn.com/talkin. 20% off. Breathable, lightweight, second skin underwear at TommyJohn.com. Again, I've changed my whole wardrobe. I do have a funny story. When we were at Fanatics Fest, we were on stage. 2 hours, a lot of baseball.
How did that happen, by the way?
After
2 hours,
us,
we ran that stage.
After us on stage, it's Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Tom Brady, and Lil Wayne. I think a couple other people hopped on, too. I think Speed hopped on at one point.
Yeah.
Like, what? Tommy.
By the way,
it's
after your story, go. Yeah.
Tommy John was a part of their presentation, and they had a mannequin that had Tommy John on. I did make a pitch to the Tommy John representatives there to let me be the onstage mannequin. And worst case scenario was they said yes, because then I would have been on stage with a lot of famous people just in my underwear. That would have been a real test of Jake. Maybe next time.
Speed.
Yeah.
That guy, most famous guy at the venue.
Yeah.
That was
Think so.
insane. Seeing the reaction of the crowd, the kids. I mean, there was a mob of 50 people, maybe more, following him wherever he went with their cameras out.
50?
Nobody else had that reaction. Yeah, nobody. Not Tom Brady, not Gronk, none of the basketball players, not even me had that reaction. That was insane to see, like, YouTube clout.
And you know who gave him the work? New warehouse legend, Kickball Dad, coming to the next floorball tournament. They played a one-on-one soccer game. Kickball Dad gave him the business.
He gave him the business in soccer?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Whoa.
Trev, your standout performer?
My standout performer is Masataka Yoshida, who went 3 for 4 with a homer, 4 runs driven in, a run, and a walk. I was just perusing, the stats page as I do on Baseball Reference, and I just noticed what he's been doing. He had a little IL stint there in May, kind of running into June. But since he's been back, it's been 51 games played, Jake. You got a 308, 387, 460 for the 846. I mean, look, sometimes he gets lost in the shuffle there in Boston. He was, a darling for a little bit, and then people were saying, is he really going to adjust? But he's, I think he has turned into a very valuable piece for the Red Sox, to say the least. And I wanted to give him a little bit of run. I didn't know his numbers were there. I did not know the on-base percentage was there. 6 homers, 32 runs driven in on the year. I like this, 18 walks to 29 strikeouts. That gets me fired up a little bit. So I wanted to send Yoshida a little bit of love. I think he got a lot of love initially and really hasn't as of late. There's been younger Red Sox players that have come up and kind of taken, that team by storm, and a lot of the press has gone to them, but Yoshida's still performing at a great clip for them. So I wanted to highlight it.
1 dotting in the second half, 26 games. And yeah, that Red Sox offense, I mean, things are, I think, half, unfortunately for Red Sox fans, landing like kind of where we expect. Like, the offense is now a top 3 offense, you could argue. But the pitching, especially the bullpen, has given them a couple tough blows. And man, they have been using that bullpen. My God, that bullpen usage page.
Is Kenley a Hall of Famer?
I think so.
Like, he's been just, for years, just lights out.
Like, for how important that role has become.
They'll probably
Red
fix
Sox
how
right now,
reliever
2nd in
voting works by the
average,
time he's
3rd in
in
OPS,
there.
4th in runs, 6th in homers, 6th in stolen bases. You don't see that a lot. Or teams are,
They do it all.
top part of the rankings in homers and stolen bases. Don't let them sneak in.
A difficult team to play, man. What was there was a fun fact on their stolen bases, because I think Hamilton and Duran both have 30 steals.
Apiece, yeah.
And it's the first time that's happened since Willie McGillicuddy and Frank Frankerton did that for the Red Sox. Harry Hooper and Tris Speaker.
You nailed it.
Hey, Harry Hooper was very much, that's more ridiculous than the names I said. And Casas is back. Go nuts, Red Sox. Why not?
Who's your standout, Pop?
My standout, I did a double. Why not? It's an NL East double. And if you got to stand out, you got to stand out. And one way to stand out is being tall. I know all about that. Cristopher Sanchez, 9 innings. That's a complete game. Mentioned that on the way through. And NL East double dip, Luis Severino with the complete game shut piece. So we talk about, the Mets are still very much in striking distance. This 1-year contract for Luis Severino, I think it's already paid off in what they've been looking for. The Mets, that funky roster that got hot in the grimmest times, and Lindor has put together an amazing season. Yeah, they have a tough Baltimore, San Diego, Arizona. Yikes. But let's see where the Mets land. And Luis Severino's complete game shut piece helps on that. And Cristopher Sanchez, Trev, I hate to welcome you to like all of your nightmares in one person, but Cristopher Sanchez, 7'4" now. And they just went to the tape. Arm slot came down a little bit. They made the adjustment. Here's your complete game.
He had a couple of big blow up starts. He had a 4-inning pitch, 7 earned run against the Cubs. Then he had 6 runs against your Yanks, and then against Arizona, his last start before this complete game, 4 2/3, 12 hits, 7 earned runs, and then follows that up. And if you're a Phillies fan and you're in the organization, to come back and say, I know it was against Washington, I understand that, but 9 innings pitched, only 2 hits. With an adjustment, gotta love that.
We love that for the pitchers. Trev, there was, Framber, Clayton, Kershaw, Bowden, Francis is clicking for the Jays. I mentioned Darian Blanco's weekend. Brandon Lau, Parker Meadows. But let's get to the best segment of the show.
Dirt nasties on FUEGO. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Corona Extra and FUEGO. Trev, who do you got?
First, I want to give a shout out to Nameless Jeff. I went over to his house for his son's birthday party yesterday. He gave me my birthday presents. My birthday was 2 months ago, but that's how things work when you're older. If you know Nameless Jeff, you know what he does for his business, and you can imagine what I got for my birthday. It's glass, and it's shaped like a vase. So that's great. Anyways, for the Corona Extra and FUEGO segment, we'll start out with Marcell Ozuna, and I'm not going to go over too much because I think we might be talking a little bit later about him. But he went 8 for 10 in the series against the Angels. Quick math, that's an 800 average. Pretty good right there. How about Darian Blanco of Kansas City? He went 5 for 8, 3 homers, 8 runs driven in, 5 runs scored for the 2-daughter. He entered Saturday with 1 homer and 5 runs driven in on the season. And then on Saturday, he had 2 homers and 7 runs driven in 1 game. You got to love that. His 7 runs driven in on Saturday was the second most in a game by a Royal and most since Omar Infante. Shout out Omar Infante. His 7 RBIs on September 17th, 2015. I think you all know what happened with the Royals in 2015. I surely remember. Blanco entered the series with 4 homers over 142 games, and he hit 3 homers in the series. That's awesome. Trey Turner, I mentioned, getting hot again. 10 for 17 in the series, 3 doubles, a homer, 4 runs driven in. He entered the series in a 10 for 70 stretch. He got benched for 1 game, came back. He had 10 hits in the series against the Nats. For the week, Gavin Sheets, what's up, Chicago White Sox fans? You're not listening. 9 for 22, 4 doubles, a homer, 7 runs driven in for the 1-daughter. Mark Vientos, my guy, my doppelganger. He went 8 for 22, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 5 runs driven in for the 1.2. And you mentioned Bowden, Francis. Is it Bowden or Bowden?
Bobby Bowden.
Either one. I'll go with that then.
Yeah.
2 games started, 14 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 15 Ks. Jake, no walks. My juices are now flowing. On Sunday, he threw 7 shutout innings for the first time in his career. He hadn't had a start go deeper than 5 2/3. That's like a Jake Storiale quote. Until his last 2 starts, where he went 7 innings pitched both times. For the 2 weeks,
yes.
I mentioned Yoshida and what he's been doing since he came back. June 11th. But over the 2 weeks, 21 for 46 for a 457 average, 4 doubles, 3 homers, 9 runs driven in. Shout out Yoshi. And then Framber Valdez, of course, is on this he could have got the Corona Extra Player of the Year, but I didn't give it to him. 3 games started, 21 and a third innings pitched, only 7 hits, only 3 runs, 23 Ks to 5 walks. He won his career best 8th consecutive decision over his last 10 starts and has a 2.39 over that span, all those starts, the Astros have won. The Astros are coming. The Astros are coming. The Ben Revere Astros are coming. Paul Revere.
And Ben.
Ben's
And
my
Ben,
guy, though.
your guy.
And now,
Yes.
for the Corona Extra Player of the Year, it was always you, Albert. It was always you. Albert Suarez, 3 games started, 17 and 2/3 innings pitched, 13 hits, 17 Ks to 3 walks. Guess how many runs given up, Jake?
Nunca.
Goose egg, baby. 3 consecutive starts without allowing a run. His scoreless streak is now a career-long 17 and 2/3 innings. His previous best was 12 and 2/3, and that was from May 10th through May 31st. Of his 17 starts this year, 8 have been scoreless. Whoops. No pitcher in Major League Baseball has more scoreless starts in 2024, and Suarez's third consecutive start replacing Grayson Rodriguez, who went on the IL. We're not sure he's going to pitch again, so this is extra important that he won the Corona Extra Player of the Year because the Orioles desperately need him to do what he's been doing. Shout out Albert Suarez, your doppelganger.
Trev, thank you. I haven't looked at the Albert Suarez stuff in a while. Thank you, Corona. Make sure you guys go to ordercorona.com. Go get yourself Corona. Drink responsibly, but enjoy yourself some Corona. Get extra on it. Albert Suarez, who hadn't pitched in the major league since 2017, had a higher ERA in Caracas last season in his 54 innings. So is the MLB the best baseball league? Click.
Where's Caracas right now?
Venezuela.
What country? One. Yes.
Come on.
We're a geography pod.
Gleyber Torres.
Gleber's from there.
From Caracas.
I've been to Caracas. Have you?
Yeah, it was you, me,
Billy Butler.
Austin Jackson.
Who's
was
the pitcher for the Royals and the Reds? Who's
Homer Bailey.
Homer Bailey.
Yeah.
Homer Bailey.
Yeah.
Bailey's
Aaron
Creams.
Luna.
No. Trev, great Corona standout. Framber's been flipping that curveball up there more. It is Bowden like Bobby Bowden. He's from Tallahassee.
Obviously.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's great. That's a sports family. Trev, let's do the IL, the worst segment of the show, because it starts with our friend Tyler Glasnow. He goes to the IL for the Dodgers. Scary. We don't love that. Hunter Green for Cincinnati, one of the few guys chasing that NL Cy. He goes to the IL. Zach Littell for Tampa. He goes to the IL. Ryan Presley had been getting knocked around a little bit. Hopefully he can clear his mind for Houston. And then a couple bullpen guys. Austin Adams, Steven Wilson, Derek Law, Dominic Leone. Oh, Pete Fairbanks, we believe, going on the IL today. Returning. We mentioned Tristan Casas. How about that for that top 3 Boston offense? Ryan, a little pep in his stepio, getting over that spider bite. Tyler O'Neill for Boston. So, hey, Boston's going to give it a go. Oh. Riley Green, Nolan Jones, Starling Marte for Los Mets. And it looks like Max Muncy and Tommy Edman for your Los Angeles Dodgers. I cannot wait to see how the Dodgers use Tommy Edman. Is he their starting shortstop? He's going to be everywhere. He's going to be literally everywhere. Never mind. Why'd I even ask? Trev, let's start the People's Week.
Awards!
It's brought to you by Trevor Plouffe.
Shout out Kels. We'll be seeing her shortly as BB5 is a coming. My award is Best Quotes of All Time award. There's a lot of great quotes out there. People have been talking for like a long time. I don't know if you know that, but like, so we've been talking, verbalizing our thoughts. That's what talking is. And so because we've been verbalizing our thoughts for so long, there's been a lot of great quotes I'm going to read a few of them to you, okay?
Okay.
Do you know who Mahatma Gandhi is by chance?
Sure. The big man.
You must be the change you wish to see in the world.
Salt march.
Kind of goes hand in hand with the golden rule, do unto others as you want done unto yourself. I really like that quote. I tell my kids that all the time. Like, would you want to be treated that way? It's a good one for parents, by the way. How about Franklin D. Roosevelt? The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Classic.
Martin Luther King Jr. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Powerful.
And this is like kind of like a sneaky one. Never heard this one by Benjamin Franklin. Well done is better than well said. Like, talk is cheap, bro. It's another way of saying talk is cheap. Go do it.
Actions speak louder than words.
Who said that? No idea.
It's George Brett, I think.
George.
I think that was George Brett.
Shout out the Brett sons who are like, we're thick as thieves, bro.
Okay.
Love that. Had a really good time with you guys at Cooperstown. I'll read one more.
Great.
Before I get into why I chose this award. Be Yourself, Everyone Else is Already Taken is Oscar Wilde. That's a good one. Gotta love that. Yeah. So snaps for all those people that have been talking and verbalizing their thoughts for a while and saying some cool stuff. I am giving this award, the Best Quotes of All Time award, to a guy who I believe I've given an award before too. And this is pretty crazy because it's John Middleton, the owner of the Philadelphia Phillies. Matt Gelb, who covers the Phillies for the Athletic, excuse me, not for the A's, but the Athletic publication. He had a nice little piece on Middleton and kind of, had some quotes about where the Phillies stand and all these things. And it was really cool. We've done this before. Middleton comes from the tobacco family. This guy started, his great-great-great-grandpa started a tobacco shop way back in 1867. He eventually sold it to Altria, which is owned by Philip Morris, for a lot of money. He ends up buying a stake in the Phillies, ends up upping his stake in the Phillies. Technically, he's not a majority owner because they're not allowed to have that, but he owns 46% of the Phillies. He's been the face of the Phillies since 2015, and he's said all the right things since then. And he's really turned the franchise around, in my opinion. And he's done that by approaching it the way I think all of us want owners to approach this thing. If we were owners, I think we'd act a lot like John Middleton. Here's some quotes from that article. He's talking about he feels a responsibility to Phillies fans. I'm going to start with one quote, and then the next one is really the one that hit home for me. This is why it's important to go out and sign people like Bryce Harper. Why you pay Zach Wheeler $40+ million a year for 3 years. It's because this is how the fans react. It's important to them. They appreciate it. They recognize it. I love that. I have other owners who look at me and say, we don't get this. It's remarkable how special this city is as a fan base. If your owner came out and said that, say, hey, this is why we pay people because we know that you like it. How freaking juiced up would you be?
Juiced.
Love that. Pretty juiced, right? He goes on. And this is my favorite quote, and this is why I gave him the award, because I've been saying this for quite some time. I guess I'll read the quote first, then I'll give my explanation. Quote, it's why I keep telling everybody, it may be a privately held business that we own, but it's not a private organization. It's a very public organization. It's a stewardship. We have an obligation. We are accountable to the fans and to the city. If you don't approach it that way, you shouldn't be an owner, in my opinion. Holy shit. I've been saying that for years. Yes, you buy a business, you can, quote unquote, run it however you want. That's what a lot of people say, but it's not that way in professional sports, especially in baseball. There's the antitrust exemption. There is the fact that all these stadiums get built with publicly funded money. Like, there are a lot of things that the fans do for the team that you have to give some love back to the fans. And I've been saying this, if you can't spend money on your team and you can't really go out there and put a winning product on the field, sell it. There's a lot of people out there looking to get into the pro sports world. It's just facts, dude. And for him to say, if you don't approach it that way, you shouldn't be an owner, in my opinion, I feel like vindicated. I feel like, yes, this is how all owners should talk about their team. So I don't know. I read this article and I was blown away. I think he's he's really been so good for that city and for the team. We've seen him up in the stands, just like taking baseballs and throwing them out into the stands. I know that's like a small, stupid gesture, but like it means so much to see your owner going out there and being involved like this. So shout out John Middleton. You got a 6-pack and you're like 60 something years old. I respect you. And these quotes are incredible.
Trevi, suck up. I mean, I don't know.
No, what do you mean? I don't care. Like, this is crazy to hear an owner talk like that on record. And I don't know if he's just like placating to the fan base. Maybe that's all it is. He wants some love, but like, it sure sounds like he thinks like this, and he's put his money where his mouth is.
I mean, that I brought it up earlier this season. Are they like the model? Are they the fan dream model? And kind of. Yeah, I mean, it's I think they just kind of officially got out of their funk. Well, holy smokes, look at this. At Atlanta, at Kansas City, hosting Houston. Oh, baby. We're going to find out if Philly's out of their funk. That is a tough little trip, but when you have Wheeler, Nola, Sanchez, along with their bullpen and all their lineup, looks like Trey Turner's kicked back into gear. Still waiting for that Harper final knob to go. Castellanos had a huge weekend. No, man, you look around the whole roster, whether it's signings, free agents, call-ups, whatever it is, Stott and Bohm in the middle of that lineup, they are, yes, I love hearing an owner talk like that. I'd love to hear more owners talk like that. And he's got a 6-pack, which you really like.
I love to mention that.
You do love to mention that.
Who you got, Pop? What's your award?
Wow. I didn't know it was an East Coast bias day, but I guess it always is. I'm giving out the 6 Crowns award, Trev. And, I could go Lord of the Rings. I could go Game of Thrones on you and talk about some of the different histories. Season 8 just finished episode 2. We're about to battle the Night King. Probably tonight or tomorrow night. So
the Yanks tonight.
Crazy how dark.
Like Beyond the Wall, was. That one?
No, we're coming. They're coming to Winterfell, Bob. Okay. More so,
it's all one app.
The Atlanta Braves that are having a weird old season down there. They don't know how to think about their team. I asked Moylan what's up. He's like, not sure. Charlie Morton is punching tickets still. Chris Sale. Ronaldo Lopez is supposed to come back. Let's see how that looks for them. Trev, Chris Sale is looking like he's going to win the Cy Young, which is insane for a lot of different reasons. The fact they signed him to an extension before the season, like that's some actual warlock and wizardry. He's leading in ERA. He's leading in wins. He's close in innings pitched. And he's leading in strikeouts. Chris Sale, I actually believe he is leading in all those National League categories right now. Wins, ERA, and Ks. Triple Crown. Scooble chasing that in the AL too. Let's see. A little less talked about, Marcel the Bear Ozuna is also chasing the Triple Crown. He is leading the NL in batting average at 309. Okay, baseball. Okay, a rise. Let's go. He is first in RBI with 93. Makes a little more sense. And he's second in homers at 36. I believe Ohtani's at 39. We're currently at 5 crowns in Atlanta, like 2 kind of historic type seasons. In a weird Atlanta season that's felt disappointing, more so because of what the Phillies have been doing. But man, if Shohei slows down for any reason, which is doubtful, or anything else, or if the Bear has a big week power-wise, we're looking at 2 Triple Crown candidates. This is like one of the bigger things in baseball you could put together for a full season. And yeah, we haven't said Braves Devil Magic a lot this year, but this has just a little bit on there. Currently 5 crowns in Atlanta.
That's insane. I didn't know the Ozuna stuff. I saw a tweet by somebody. I forget who it is, but I was shocked to see those numbers. 309 average. Didn't know he had it like that. Trey Turner has got 311, but he's not qualified yet, so that could be interesting to see there at the end of the year if he gets enough at bats to qualify. And then him, Arise, and Ozuna kind of batting titling it off would be fun to see. I don't know if he's going to catch Shohei. Shohei just is in another world.
It's tough.
Tough to do that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, these are two guys. They're top of the WAR leaderboard for the Braves. Chris Sale, I love that you said wizardry and what'd you say?
Witchcraft and wizardry?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Get him over here, figure it out, sign him to a deal. Everyone was kind of scratching their head about that. Now here he is. Is he really leading in all those categories as well? I mean, I know he's having a good season, but I didn't know that.
2.62 ERA, 187 Ks, 14 wins.
That's insane, dude. And that's the triple. I don't even know the Triple Crown as for pitchers because I don't care because you know about me and pitchers, but
right.
It's insane, dude.
We thought it was like over. Like we thought he was going to be a bullpen option for them, and he's just going to be the best pitcher in the National League. Bieber did it, shortened 2020 season, doesn't count. Verlander did it in 2011. It's historic.
Already
Crazy.
at the most innings he's thrown since 2019. He's leading in FIP. So in theory, that his FIP's saying he's pitching into a little bit of bad luck. Because that's a
so he's one
difference.
strikeout ahead of Dylan Cease. That'll be an interesting race going down there because we know Cease can get on a heater as well. He's 2 wins above Cease and Wheeler. They have 12 to his 14. And the ERA, Wheeler's a 2.72. Where's Wheeler in the strikeouts? 162. So Wheeler probably can't catch him in strikeouts. Wow. Okay. Hunter Green just went on the IL.
Yep.
He's at 2.83. Sale's a stud, man. He got that new changeup too. Everyone's got the new changeup. All these lefties.
Seam shifted wake. Yeah, apparently his changeup cuts sometimes. Hey, Dog Days, August 19th. Thank you guys. Enjoy your baseball this week. We will see you Wednesday with a fun ep. We'll wrap her up Friday. Whew. I need
King doing his thing.
I need a salad.
Chick soaks.
I am hungry.
4th best odds for AL Cy Young. Class A.
Nice.
Reliever representation. Scoobles minus 1,100.
Sean Manaea. 9th in the NL for ERA.
Good evening.
Mets.
Devil Magic.
Talk about the Mets.